Hello, and welcome back to Videos with Ashley Casper. I'm your host today. We are going to be talking about where is the best place to sell your coloring pages, and I'm really excited about this topic. If you've been following me at all, then you have been seeing that I've been creating a lot of coloring pages and having a lot of fun doing it. I completed my Hive. Took me a second. Hive coloring book that was kind of my first goal to finish that one. It was a 20-page book that I wanted to complete for a project that I am working on in the back end, which I have not revealed to anyone yet. And then right now I am working on a retro vibe coloring book. I have not come up with a name yet. It's still very fresh, but that's going to be a 30-page book. And I have a very specific plan with that one that I'm going to share with you today. A little bit more in depth. It's a new thing that I'm learning about. And then I also got commissioned this week from a dear friend of mine who has built up an amazing baking community of over 40,000 bakers. And she wanted to offer coloring pages to her community as just kind of a bonus because bakers tend to be a little bit stressed. And so she reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in collaborating with her on that. And I was thrilled. And of course, it was an immediate yes. And already created 4 pages for her for the first month and going to be doing that going forward. And I'm super excited. So let's dive into the topic of where's the best place to sell your coloring pages. Now, I haven't sold a whole bunch of coloring pages, so this is coming from someone that is kind of a beginner, but I find it's a little easier to learn from people that are in the beginning stages of things because once you get to a certain level of something, you kind of develop what's an autopilot almost. You know how like when you're driving down the road, you get on autopilot, like especially if you're going to the same place that you go to day in and day out. And you kind of sometimes, like I know when I'm taking my kids, every now and then I'll switch it up because of traffic, and I'll take one to one school and another to another school, and I'll switch it up. And if I get out of order, I tend to make the wrong turn whenever I've dropped everyone off because it's opposite and I was used to turning the other way. So there have been many times that my autopilot has kind of gotten me into trouble. And so I feel like once we've developed a skill set to a certain extent, our autopilot kicks in and we forget the little details that were helpful for us in the beginning. So that's one of my reasons for, even though I'm new to this, just sharing what I'm learning with you now. And hey, Janine, thank you for tuning in. Yes, if you are watching live, please drop a comment. Let me know. Hey, Bryce, it's good to see you. You had me in tears this morning on the Grow Rich call. Such a great story that you shared. It's awesome getting to know you more and more each day. And Janine says exactly. So I'm assuming you are agreeing with my autopilot thoughts there. So I'm going to be sharing where the best places are to sell coloring pages. Now, there's a lot of places that I have not researched yet. And so I won't go into all of those, but there's 3 main ones. And each one has a little bit more of a benefit than the other, but I think that they can all work really well together. And that's what I wanted to share. So the first one I'm going to talk about is... Bryce said, I ended up driving 20 minutes out of my way because of autopilot. I've done that so many times. So the first one I want to talk about is Etsy. A lot of, digital creators, crafters, sell goods on Etsy. I first started with Etsy back in the day when I was making paper beads, and I sold paper bead jewelry on Etsy. And so I really love Etsy. I think it opens up so many doors of opportunities for many people. And I just love it so much. So that is a really great place to sell digital products and coloring pages. I just made a sale last week of the coloring pages that I listed. And I will report I did not get as much in my account as I was hoping for, and it's because of their fees. They do some advertising for you. So one of the bonuses of Etsy is the fact that it has a large audience, that if you're kind of small, if you have the right keywords and the right this and the right that in your setup, which I'm not a guru on, that may be for a future video. But if you get all that right, you can get on like the front pages of Etsy and get more views to your products, which can, increase your sales. So I really like that they do that. So that kind of justifies some of their fees because they're doing that work for you. But there's listing fees and transaction fees and processing fees. And the listing fee itself is 20 cents. Each one of them, the transaction fee, I believe, is 6.5%. And the processing fee is a 3% plus 25 cents. So it's kind of confusing too. That's one of the downfalls that I don't like about Etsy. And the other thing that I do like about them is the fact that you have lots of ways that you can market, other ways to connect with your audience there too. So great place to sell, to reach a wide audience. And so that's the first place I wanted to share was Etsy. So definitely a great place to list. Amazon KDP is the next one. I have not listed one there yet. That is what I have planned for my retro vibe coloring book that I'm working on. And so I'm excited to try that out. I've been researching and learning a lot about it. On the standpoint of getting more of your royalties, I think it's a benefit, especially if you're kind of a newbie like I am. You don't have a huge audience. Amazon has a massive audience that can reach, so many places. And so again, getting a bigger audience, more potential for more sales. And so another great place to start as a newbie. They have a couple of different percentages on how there's no fee also. That's one thing I really liked about Amazon KDP is there's not a fee to list or post or publish, I think is what they call it, publish your coloring book through them. And sorry, the comments are distracting. I will come back to them, but it's kind of slowing me down and distracting me. I will come back. Don't go away. ADD, squirrels are bouncing around over here, so I had to hide the comments. So wide audience with Amazon, great place to list. And then the percentages of commissions, or the royalties is what they call it, that you would earn when you make a sale. There's two different ones. One is if you are listing like public domain stuff, which I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know if that's a coloring page thing. Bryce, maybe you can chime in if you know what that is. I'm thinking it's like there are books that you would read that you can get and you can publish them as public domain. With those, I think it's 35% royalties, but that's not what we're talking about here. When you're creating your own product, from your creation, you can get 70% royalties. And so 70%, I feel like, was a lot better than the percentage that I ended up getting from Etsy after my extra fees. Now, I had some extra listing fees that came out of what I ended up getting, but it was like less than 50% of my sale that I got back. And I'm like, man, that hurt. But it is what it is. That's part of the game. We have to learn about all of this and just move forward with what we're learning. But again, I'm really thankful for Etsy for being able to reach more people. And so, yeah, I haven't listed my book on Amazon KDP yet, but that is something I'm working towards. I want to learn more about like the keywords and things that I want to understand that side of it before I actually do my listing. So I've got some more research and I've got tons of pages that I still have to create too. So that may be a little bit longer, but as soon as I do, I will give you guys an update. And before I move on to the third one, I want to check the comments because I don't want anybody to feel ignored. All right. So Janine said, woo, lots of fees add up. They do add up. They really do. Those stacking fees are the second reason I'm not selling on eBay anymore. And that was another place that I was curious about if coloring pages would be good to list there. So it sounds like they have a lot of fees too. I've tried with eBay a couple of times, but it was a lot for me to absorb at the time. So I never really pursued it continuously. Janine says, yes, sir. So I guess she has some experience with eBay. And said, okay, so you don't know anything about self-publishing. Awesome. Okay. So, and the third place that I think is the best place to sell coloring books is going to be your own website. But when I say your own website, I'm very particular about my tool that I'm going to share because it doesn't take any fees. There's no fees to list your items. Now, obviously, you have to pay for the tool, which I use it for many other reasons as well. So it's very beneficial for me. I'm already paying for it to use in my other business, the other sides of my business that I do. And the fact that I consider it like a digital Swiss Army knife because it's capable of so much. You can do a store, you can do a workshop, you can do webinars, traditional websites, funnels. If you're into online marketing, you can do all the funnels, there's unlimited amount of funnels that you can create with it. And I think digital Swiss Army knife is like the best term for that tool. And it doesn't take any fees. There's no fees to list, and it will do the same thing, especially with like delivering a digital product. And that was what I wanted to say too. Amazon KDP, you're creating a digital product, but Amazon is going to actually print and deliver the coloring book in like a a product, a tangible object that you can hold. And so that adds another level of value to it, I think. Where with Etsy, which you can do the same thing with Etsy, you would just have to find a printer. And I'm trying to do this on as little work and as little effort on my part when it comes to that. I want to spend more time focusing on my creation. And of course, so I could do that with my website too, have actual physical product that I would be required to take to the mail and ship it out. But if I do the digital, it will manage the delivery of it and everything for me. And I will say this too. So this was what I wanted to close with. So while the website is good, my website, because I'm not super popular. I don't have a whole lot of views. I don't have a lot of traffic going to my website. So that is the downfall where Etsy and Amazon have that perk that they're bringing traffic to my products for me. And where I think that all of these things can work together to diversify whatever it is that you're creating. And if it's feasible for you, list it in all places. And within that product, build in something that invites the customer to visit your personal website. There's nothing in the rules saying you can't do that. And so, in your coloring book, maybe you insert a page in the very back that, or in the very front that tells about who you are. You're the artist, you're the creator, and you have a website, and you can get a 10% discount at this website, and it takes them directly to you. And so that helps to build that relationship with them, get them more one-on-one with you rather than just focused on Amazon or Etsy. And I think that that's a really powerful way to, especially when you're kind of a newbie and trying to, obviously earn an income, reach more people, and help more people with whatever the product is that you're sharing. So that is what I had for the day. Let me go back to my comments over here. Janine said, good one, digital Swiss Army knife. Bryce said, I'm going to see if we can get our church website moved over to it. It's awesome, isn't it? And so many, even a church, they kind of have to manage themselves like a business, but they're not technically a business. So even a church can benefit from this website, this tool, not website, this tool. And it's awesome. I can't say enough about it. And Janine says, yes, I have a friend that does books, but sending them out, she got overwhelmed. Yeah, I can imagine that would be overwhelming. I've considered, I briefly considered doing Happy Mail again. Janine, I think you remember when I was doing Happy Mail, and Happy Mail kind of got that way. It was really overwhelming having to put together physical products and mail them out. And there were times that I got the postage wrong. And there's a lot when it comes to dealing with physical products. And Bryce says, yeah, I like the idea of the outside print and publish service. I don't have to hold any inventory. Yes, absolutely. I have enough clutter in my house. The last thing I need is printed books that, who knows if they'll sell. Hopefully they will, but. And Janine says, oh, I remember Happy Mail. It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work too. So, all right, guys. Well, that's what I had for today. Thank you so much, Bryce and Janine, for tuning in. And if you are watching the replay, please comment #replay. If you are interested in checking out this tool that I have been sharing with you about, you can visit my website at workwithamc.com. And if you want to see my coloring pages, that's the very first button. But if you want this tool, scroll down a little bit to the bottom and look for the button that says the digital Swiss Army knife. And you can watch the video. Paul and Mike talk all about it. And it's good. It's good. I really highly recommend you check it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys on Friday.